Africa has produced some of the most exceptional fighters, each with a unique story and skill set that has captivated fans worldwide. Let's take a closer look at these warriors who've stepped onto the grand stage of the UFC, showcasing their prowess and representing their continent with pride. Without further ado, let's explore the African fighters in the UFC in 2023. My name is Toby with the African Fighters. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all the great things for the African fighters. Number 1. Noura Cornella. A decorated Muay Thai specialist before making the switch to MMA, Noura combines the sweet art of striking and grappling. She made her debut in the UFC in September of 2023, defeating Jocelyn Edwards, as she's currently undefeated in mixed martial arts. Number 2. Manel Kape. Hailing from Angola, Kape has brought his explosive style and striking prowess to the UFC stage. Manel Kape made his debut against Alexandre Pantoja in 2021, and since then he's been turning heads with his dynamic performances in the octagon. Known for his knockout power and well-rounded skills, Kape is a force to be reckoned with in the Flyweight division. Number 3. Cameron Saaiman. He joined the UFC after an impressive round 3 knockout in Dana White's Contender Series. The amazing African prospect, who was labeled as the future by Dana White, has gone on to rack up an impressive 3-fight win streak before suffering his only loss to fellow exciting talent Christian Rodriguez. Number 4. Sodiq Yusuff. Hailing from Nigeria, Yusuff has become a force in the featherweight division, captivating fans with his exciting fighting style. Sodiq Yusuff quickly made a name for himself with his impressive striking skills and continuously improving his ground game. Yusuff has been climbing the ranks, securing victories and showcasing the depth of talent emerging from Africa. Number 5. Uganda's mixed martial artist David Onama continued to live by his billing and the stage name The Silent Assassin. He joined the UFC in October of 2021 and he racked up 3 wins and 2 losses. He has had his fair share of injuries, managing to bounce back stronger every time. Number 6. Hakeem Dawodu. Hakeem Dawodu exemplifies the caliber of talent coming out of Nigeria, and he continues to climb the ranks in the highly competitive featherweight division. The Nigerian star joined the UFC in 2018 and has been involved in 10 fights with a 6-4 record. Although he has been on quite a bit of a slump, you wouldn't bet against him to bounce back stronger. Number 7. Bolaji Oki. Bolaji Oki is one of the newest additions to the UFC roster after his performance at Dana White's Contender Series 60. The 27-year-old made quick work of his Contender Series opponent, Dylan Salvador, finishing their fight at the UFC Apex in round 1, and is set to make his debut against Damir Hadzovic. Number 8. Ottman Azaitar. Ottman officially stepped into the UFC arena, marking the beginning of his thrilling journey in the world's premier mixed martial arts organization. Currently sitting 2-2 in the UFC after losing his last 2 fights, Ottman looks to bounce back to winning form in his next battle. Number 9. Marc Diakiese. Stepping onto the grand stage with a mission to showcase the rich tapestry of fighting talent from Africa. Born in the DRC, Diakiese made his first mark in the UFC in 2016 and has become a mainstay in the organization after amassing an 8-7 record in the UFC. Number 10. Joining the ranks of formidable fighters in the UFC is Ziam, a skilled athlete representing Algeria in the lightweight division. Ziam's journey into the octagon has been nothing but impressive, showcasing his technical prowess and determination. Currently sitting 4-2 in the UFC. On a 2-fight win streak, he is set to take on Claudio Puelles in his next battle. Number 11. One of the most charismatic African fighters in the UFC and only the second Zimbabwean fighter in the UFC, Themba Gorimbo made his UFC debut in February of 2023 in a loss to AJ Fletcher, but managed to bounce back against Sato in his next fight. Themba has become a very popular name in the UFC. DRC-born Ange Loosa came into the UFC in April 2022 and faced fellow African giant Munir Aziz in what was a difficult loss. The man from Kinshasa then made a comeback in his next 2 fights with impressive victories and is set for great things in the UFC. Number 13. Kamaru the Nigerian Nightmare Usman. Hailing from Auchi, Nigeria, Usman has not only become a dominant force in the UFC, but a symbol of excellence and determination, becoming one of only 4 African champions in the UFC, with 5 title defenses during his dominant reign over the welterweight division. Number 14. Arguably one of the greatest middleweights in UFC history, Israel Adesanya rose to the top of the UFC middleweight division, turning back all comers and looking good while doing it, amassing a very impressive UFC record of 13-3 since joining the promotion in 2018. Number 15. Abdulrazak Alhassan. Azaitar, popularly known as Captain Morocco, came into the UFC in 2018, Vitor Miranda. The Moroccan has however not found another victory in the UFC, with losses in his following 2 fights. Number 16. Chidi Njokuani. Chidi Njokuani's journey in the world of MMA has been characterized by explosive striking and impressive skill set. Chidi has been a force in the UFC since 2022 when he made his debut against Marc-Andre Barriault. Although currently on a 3-fight losing streak, he hopes to get back in the win column in his next outing. Number 17. A relentless force hailing from Ghana, Alhassan's journey in the world of mixed martial arts has been marked by his explosive striking and an unwavering determination to succeed. Abdulrazak Alhassan entered the UFC in 2016 and is one of the longest standing UFC fighters from Africa. Number 18. Dricus Du Plessis. Du Plessis' story representing the growing influence of African fighters in the global MMA scene, entering the UFC with one goal: to become the first ever UFC champion that trains in Africa. Still, Knox will not be denied as he realized his dream by defeating Strickland in a split decision victory to become the reigning champion. Number 19. Kennedy Nzechukwu. A rising star in the UFC lightweight division, hailing from Nigeria, Nzechukwu has brought his unique blend of skill and strength to the octagon, making waves in the UFC. He made his debut in 2019 and currently holds a 6-4 record in the UFC, with an opportunity to bounce back from his most recent loss against Saint Preux in March. Number 20. Mohammed Usman. Mohammed ended the sport in the UFC after winning the Ultimate Fighter and proved that he can be a force to be reckoned with thanks to his unanimous decision victory over Tafa. The Mortal, as he is popularly known, has now won all of his fights in the UFC and his stock continues to rise. Number 21. Hamdy Abdelwahab. On June 28, 2022, it was announced that Abdelwahab had signed with the UFC, making him the first Egyptian fighter to sign with the organization. Abdelwahab made his promotional debut at UFC 277 against Dontel Mays. This win was later overturned to a no contest after Abdelwahab failed a drug test with USADA. The Egyptian is still seeking his first victory in the UFC. Alright guys, that's it from us. Those are all the fighters from Africa in the UFC. We wish all of them the best of luck. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. If you think we missed out anyone, don't forget to let us know. I will see you in another episode. Bye for now.
Come on, Africans!